99.9% of my foods was coming strictly from homemade, home cooked, everyday cooking my own food. You know, I know it's time consuming, but am I not worth it? What's up, y'all? Easy to eyes. Hopping right into a reaction video. Might do a three-piece, we'll see. Today is WTF is happening to fast food by Damon Cassidy. Let's hop right into it. CBS rising fast food prices turning away customers.
Percent of Americans are eating less fast food, as menu prices have increased by roughly 60% over the last decade, with McDonald's alone doubling their prices. And with fast food prices far exceeding the rate of inflation, roughly 80% of Americans now view it as a luxury. Raising the question, how did the cheapest meals in the country become just another way to fatten shareholders' pockets?
Supply and demand. The more you demand, the more that price gonna go up.
Fast food was originally intended to be a quick and affordable alternative for the working class, with McDonald's famously celebrating that a family
Real fast, look how small that ice cream is. Talk about how did the price increase.
just another way
Look
to
how
fatten
small that ice cream
shareholders'
is.
pockets. While fast food
In his glass. Look at that. That's not even a scoop. No wonder prices went up.
be a quick and affordable alternative for the working class, with McDonald's famously celebrating that a family of 4 could be served in.
Oh look, hamburger 15 cents, a tempting hamburger $19. Triple thick steak shake is 20 cents, fries 10 cents. Sheesh, everything else 10 cents on there.
A minute for less than $1.
I wish.
Decades of extreme consolidation have left many of today's largest chains charging roughly $40 to feed the average family.
Cheeseburger went from 69 cents to $4. That's almost 10x.
Has fundamentally shifted away from serving customers and towards extracting as much profit as possible from each meal. One of the largest mechanisms behind this consolidation is franchising, as franchise chains now capture roughly 75% of fast food revenue, despite operating substantially fewer locations than mom-and-pop independents. The adoption of this model accelerated after McDonald's unprecedented expansion throughout the 50s and 60s demonstrated how every new location could generate rent, recurring royalties, and franchise fees, while shifting most of the cost and operating risk onto the franchisee, creating a financial model that nearly every established chain would eventually adopt, as it provided the scale needed to outspend competitors, dominate advertising, secure the most valuable real estate, demand enormous volumes of food at prices smaller operators can never negotiate, and offset declining sales in one market through revenue generated across thousands of global locations. Meaning that instead of local hamburger stands and sandwich shops competing for customers through lower prices and better value, more than 14,000 McDonald's, 7,000 Burger Kings, 6,000 Wendy's, and thousands of Subways, Jersey Mike's, and Jimmy John locations,
mostly on the East and West Coast,
shape what Americans expect to pay across entire categories of fast food. Today, among the 20 largest fast food chains in America, just 2 were founded within the last 50 years, with not a single one founded in the 21st century. And even across the nation's 500 largest restaurant chains, these same 10 dominant fast food brands account for roughly 44% of all sales. And after using their scale to essentially eliminate local competition, fast food chains have turned towards loyalty programs designed to disguise higher prices as a great deal.
Everybody love loyalty, points, rewards. Everybody love a deal.
2025 analysis found that the top 20% of loyalty users generate roughly 55 to 70% of loyalty revenue, spending 2 to 3 times more than the average customer, as every purchase becomes one step closer towards a free reward. In Q1 of 2026, Starbucks announced that reward members generate nearly 60% of all U.S. company-operated revenue, even though earning a free drink or breakfast item can require nearly $200 in purchases. Even McDonald's CEO has acknowledged that loyalty adoption increases both customer visits and spending, effectively proving that the value these chains now provide has essentially nothing to do with quick and affordable food, and everything to do with making customers pay more for the perception of it. And while these chains have somewhat effectively manufactured the illusion of affordability, their market control also allows them to sell substantially lower quality food. Before rampant consolidation, fast food chains relied far more heavily on regional produce.
So right now, what they saying is that they normalizing everything. No more local burger shops and stuff cannot compete, and probably would never be on the same scale as the larger McDonald's, Burger King, Chipotle, Five Guys type of places. And with that happening, you lose control over how much you're paying and the quality of food you're getting. Your demand for the food becomes your only choice for the food because all other food was put out. Pretty much nobody else can keep up or compete with them. All by your doing. By going to McDonald's, you are supporting them and you are putting other businesses out of business. Right?
And dairy suppliers, allowing them to compete through freshness and stronger relationships with the communities they served. Today,
real fast, it looked like I'm about to go through the chapters. It looked like he about to go into how the places got where they at. They all started the same, yo. Started small and got into, you know what I mean? He had to talk to the community. So this is how Cisco took over. We don't really need to know how Cisco took over unless y'all want to hear it. Let's listen.
U.S. Foods or Performance Food Group, where yet again, despite thousands of independent distributors still existing, these three corporations alone control roughly 35% of the food service distribution market.
I ain't gonna hold you. We're gonna try something new. We're gonna try our speed up, and I'll sum it up for y'all.
While the fifth largest controls only around 1%. And because these distributors make more money by purchasing enormous volumes of standardized products that can be sold across thousands of locations, they gain immense influence over what chains pay and which ingredients become financially practical to serve at scale, often favoring products designed around consistent margins rather than freshness or regional quality, leaving much of the industry dependent on frozen, pre-portioned, and heavily processed products designed for longer shelf lives, requiring less labor to prepare, and tasting somewhat the same across thousands of locations.
So right now they saying Cisco is supplying all these foods, which is why everything tastes the same. Crazy. The only thing that's probably different is the seasoning or the cooking style. So everybody eating the same thing in America. Cisco brand foods.
Ultimately leaving customers to pay record prices for little more than the chain's branding, while receiving the exact same nationally or even globally sourced mystery food engineered to feed the bottom line.
Mystery food.
If the industry were not already consolidated enough, private equity has spent decades absorbing many of the same legacy brands that franchising made nearly impossible to compete with. Roark Capital's restaurant portfolio now includes Subway, Carl's Jr., Hardee's, Culver's, and the parent
Roark Capital Group. I never heard them before. They got Arby's, Baskin & Robbins, Dunkin's, Jimmy John's, Sonic, Buffalo Wild Wings, dang, Jamba Juice's, Cinnabon, Carvel, Shalatsi's, Auntie Anne's, McAllister's, and Moe's. Sheesh. Dave's Hot Chicken. Carl's Jr. Subway. Y'all can see it. Massage Envy. Culver's. Culver's is just thing they get on the map. Crazy. Dang, the Roark Capital Group. Remember that name, y'all.
companies behind Dunkin',
This is how the rich get richer.
Sonic, Jimmy John's, Buffalo Wild Wings, Baskin-Robbins, Cinnabon, and several other major chains. And then Blackstone recently acquired a majority stake in Jersey Mike's through a deal reportedly valued at roughly $8 billion. Blackstone has openly described franchise businesses as attractive investments because of their scalability, low capital requirements, and steady cash flow growth, allowing private equity firms to acquire established chains, place much of the acquisition debt onto the business itself, and extract returns through fees, dividends, or an eventual sale, turning brands built over decades into financial assets where the strongest financial incentives no longer come from providing affordable food, but from raising fees, cutting labor, shrinking portions, and replacing ingredients to increase returns. Proving that at this point, deciding which fast food chain to eat at is really just which private equity portfolio you would like to feed. And while the
if y'all didn't know, Blackstone is Blackstone Inc., the world's largest alternative asset management and private equity firm, also known as Blackstone Products. Oh damn, I forget the Blackstone Products. Founded in 1995, headquarters in New York. Focuses alternative asset management, includes private equity, real estate, credit, and infrastructure. Scale manages over 1.2 trillion in total assets globally. Blackstone. So if you want to support the little guy, know who you eating with. Make sure it's local. Hit your farmers markets. They selling fast food at the farmers market.
continues brushing all of this under the rug by insisting that rising food costs and broader economic conditions are the sole reason behind increased menu prices. Those pressures do not make charging higher prices, serving lower quality food, or extracting more from workers unavoidable parts of operating a successful fast food chain. To demonstrate that, I spoke with Kathy Terry, the co-founder of P. Terry's, an Austin-based hamburger chain now celebrating its 21st anniversary with 37 company-owned and operated locations and more than 1,800 employees, where she explains why so many independent chains eventually sell to private equity and why P. Terry's instead chose to establish an employee ownership trust and profit-sharing model designed to always give back to the customers and workers responsible for its success.
The issue is there's a lot of people that start a business and then they take on investors, right? They take on venture capitalists. Well, venture capitalists want their money back, right? And so they'll infuse you with a lot of capital to expand. But there's a cost with that growth, right? Then all of a sudden you have to make choices that not necessarily you would have made before, right? And it really may affect your culture because you're making decisions to grow faster than you normally would, or your culture would allow you to grow, right? But you're having to grow because they're an investor, they're a partner now, right? And so they're kind of driving the train. And usually they want out in 5 to 7 years. So they want to expand and build it up and build this asset so they can sell it to the next person. And then you get private equity, and private equity, I'm sure I have a lot of friends that work in private equity, but private equity, they really just want to take your asset and they want to just, dump a bunch of debt on it and they want out in 7 years, right? Like it's all about making money for their fund, making money for their investors, right? So I'm not sure they necessarily care about the culture, really. I mean, they'll say it, and they might in their heart believe it, but they're also, I would question what the intention is. So an employee ownership trust is something fairly new. It came from the UK. They've done it a long time in the UK. It's fairly new in the US, but it's basically a trust that is set up for the benefit of the employees, but they don't really retain the shares. They don't hold the shares. It sits in a trust. But what it does, and the wonderful thing about it, is it protects the culture forever, for perpetuity. So basically, it's a tool that allows Patrick and I to gift shares, but also allow us to sell shares to the trust. So it allows us to get some equity out. But the actual document itself, the purpose of the trust is to make sure that we always sell high quality burgers at a affordable price, that we always take care of the employee, that we'll always have interest-free loans, profit sharing, that we will give back to the customer. And that protects it for perpetuity, right? And so when another CEO comes on, right, when Patrick retires and another CEO comes in, that stewardship committee goes to them and says, oh, no. You can't sell frozen french fries. You can't take away our profit sharing. You can't, you know what I mean? Like, so it protects the culture. So it's like a total win. But the thing that we really wanted to do was have a financial benefit for the employees. So that's.
She said you can't sell frozen french fries. I wonder what's so important about frozen french fries. I'll come back to it after she's done talking.
We added the profit sharing because the profit sharing is what's the most exciting thing, especially for the employees. Like, the trusts are like, yeah, I kind of understand it, don't understand it, but I think they understand the profit sharing, or they really will understand it come, February when they start getting the check. So it allows us to, give, let the employees who built P. Terry's benefit from P. Terry's. And I'm hoping, especially when it's at 20%, it will be substantial. I mean, it will, help, definitely buy a car. It'll help them put a down payment on a house. It'll help them put their kids through school. It will be substantial.
And what?
Hey, real fast. So what she was saying was the private equity is usually, you get a business and you want to grow so fast, you start getting investors and people putting money into your business, and then they want their money back within 5 to 7 years. So they expect you to start bringing in more money, and which means you might have to start selling more things quicker or get stuff for cheaper prices. So I understand that. This says she's doing an employee-owned trust, which is more from the Europe or whatever, but that right there allows you to say, okay, you cannot sell frozen french fries and your quality must be this and that and this. Also allowing you to sell some of your stocks to the trust and get equity, which is cool. Frozen french fries stuck out, which I was like, wow, or frozen french fries. They say, first thing that popped up, AI. Frozen french fries are not automatically toxic, but they are heavily processed. They are pre-fried and oiled. I know they was pre-fried. And often high in sodium. So even if you're baking your french fries, it seems like they still got the oil in them. Crazy, right? Eating them often can lead to weight gain and heart issues. Baking or air fry them at home is healthier than deep frying, especially if you pick brands with simple ingredients. All right, so they said they are heavily processed, which means they got a lot of ingredients in it and stuff like that. So just qualities, just something to give you qualities to look for, non-frozen food, etc., etc.
Fast food business can.
It'll help them put their kids through school. It will be substantial.
And while companies such as P. Terry's prove that a fast food business can support profit sharing, substantially higher wages, interest-free employee loans, Christmas bonuses, and even a birthday cake for every worker, all while serving locally sourced food at or below industry prices, many of the
A birthday cake for every worker. I know that feel good, don't it?
largest fast food chains continue blaming rising menu prices.
Just imagine if your job gave you more personality, more personal to you. I know it's supposed to be business, nothing personal, but imagine you go to your job and they got a birthday cake for you, or they got get well cards or something like that for something you going through, or you know what I mean. It just will make you want to do more for your job versus if it's just a check and anybody can replace you and ain't no benefits, and there isn't any benefits. It's kind of like, yeah. It also will make people, I think it bring up the customer service, customer care as well.
And declining quality on the workers asking for wages that keep up with the cost of living. Despite today's minimum wage worker earning nearly 50% less in inflation-adjusted wages than a minimum wage worker did in 1968, fast food giants such as McDonald's continue presenting wages as a leading driver of higher prices, even after raising menu prices by more than 100% over the last decade and spending roughly $2 billion on stock buybacks in 2025. Meanwhile, Starbucks blamed wage pressures for higher prices while awarding its CEO a compensation package worth roughly $96 million after only 4 months on the job. The company also provided him with private jet travel.
They saying they making so much money, but they're not raising up the you know, hourly range.
Both business and personal use.
McDonald's should be a high-paying job, yo. They making a lot of money. That should be a high-paying job. Starbucks, McDonald's, all these big restaurants should be high-paying jobs.
And paid for his housing in Seattle after he chose not to relocate from California, proving that the industry can always find billions of dollars for shareholders and executives, but somehow treat workers asking for enough to afford rent as the greatest threat to affordability.
When I first started,
employees are too common. That's what they saying. CEOs aren't common. Employees are.
Somebody that knew me, I was super, super shy. I wouldn't have tried anything new, you know. I gained a lot of confidence working here. It was really nice to be able to grow within the company within these past 10 years, just starting as a crew member and then becoming a shift lead and joining the training team and getting to train like 10 people at a time. It really helped me gain confidence, and just knowing that they like would give me opportunity.
She about to get personal.
To grow like that, as from 17 to now, it's just been truly a blessing. Like I'm really appreciative of everything that they've done.
And so what I hope that we're beginning to recognize is that maybe beyond like job search platforms, the fast food industry is as greedy as it possibly gets. There is absolutely no reason why
it makes sense, right? Fast food, greedy, go hand in hand.
Companies cannot give us as affordable meals as possible, cannot pay their employees fair wages. There's absolutely no reason why we can't get the food in a relatively decent time. And more importantly, there's absolutely no reason why the food that we receive, even though it is more on the affordable side of things, isn't decent quality. Like, I think that if you recognize the fact that your grandparent was able to receive a cheaper meal by people that were paid more in a far quicker time, and it was healthier, not the most healthy thing ever, but healthier than what it is that we're receiving now.
It ain't healthier. Stop saying healthier, man. It was just probably better quality, but
boycotted or hasn't stopped going to fast food. Like the stat says, 62% of Americans are eating less fast food. Isn't stopped. So that means that the majority of us are still going at least once or twice a week, probably more.
If you're running your own business.
Comment below how many times you go to fast food. If you're really about that, comment below and let me know how much you spend. Either weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly on fast food.
And so, you know, I personally do not eat fast food, other than P. Terry's. But I don't. I've only been to McDonald's maybe twice in my life. I will say, beyond thinking that sandwiches are like nutritionally kind of one of the, it doesn't make sense to me. I don't think that you're really getting any value out of a sandwich. I do kind of like Jersey Mike's. But when I found out that Jersey Mike's was being acquired by Blackstone, I said, I'm never going to eat there again. Ever. Ever. So something that I like, I'm saying it's not going to happen because I...
Where do I know him from, bro? I know this man from somewhere.
...not support Blackstone. I'm not going to pay with my hard-earned dollar. I work very hard for my money. I'm not going to give you my hard-earned dollar and consume greed in return. And I think that it's really important that we understand that, one, we have so much more power than we may recognize, but also you work very hard for your money. And so something that I've mentioned in so many videos about so many different topics, but specifically about the fast food video I did over a year ago and then the restaurant video I did, was that we need to be doing consumer boycotts. Like, we need to be doing it for so many different things. But most importantly, we need to be doing this. Like, I do not see the incentive anymore in any regard, unless you're in like a fast food desert and you're starving, of why any of us are...
I'm going to take over this. I feel like, for sure, I boycott a lot of things just on GP, general principle of who owns the company. So with that being said, you got to realize that your money is supporting and helping these companies keep doing what they do. We literally control everything. We literally control everything. If they're selling to us, if we don't buy it, they're going to drop the price all the way down until the point where they're going to give up business. We get to choose when they give that business up and stuff like that. So we should really pay more attention to that. I haven't eaten McDonald's in over 10, 12 years. I haven't eaten Burger King, any of them small fry ones, forever. I've eaten Shake Shack. I'm not sure who they're owned by. I'm gonna have to look into that. Even my bottled water, I make sure I call the number on the back so I can make sure that I know who's what's the alkaline rating on it. You know, you have to research everything. Why not? We got time for everything else. You might as well research what you're putting in your body. I feel like it's the most important thing in the world. I think that's what I spend most of my money on is food and things for myself. Let's see what he's talking about.
With it so much that are so anti-minimum wage. You know, you are not paid handing it from them. You know, and I just want to do a message for all the people out there that are, I get hit with it so much, that are so anti-minimum wage. You know, you are not paid to be these companies' accountant. You're not on the payroll. So I don't understand why you're defending a corporation. Like, I think that this AI race has clearly shown that we need to be human first. So I don't understand that why, whenever it comes to paying people fairly, we never seem to be human first. The reason why we're in this issue, broadly speaking, and basically every sort of industry you can think of, is because we've been corporation first. We've been billionaire first. We haven't been human first. And I can guarantee you, Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, McDonald's, Amazon, whatever you can think of, they're not going to all of a sudden say, let's be human first. That comes from us. So we have to decide within our own lives, what are the steps that we're going to do to be able to make a difference, to pave the path to a better tomorrow? How do we support the companies that are actively doing that? And how do we have hope that it's going to work?
The reason why they're not human first, because they're not human first. They're businesses. They're working with numbers and systems and goals already. So they're not thinking like humans. They're thinking about businesses and how can we profit. Business is about profit. So that's why they're not going to do it. We have to make it where we do it. We really should get McDonald's to do that dollar menu back because they made enough money to make it. We really should get McDonald's to that. And I say that, but then again, what would that solve? I still want to eat McDonald's. You feel me? It's still crap food. So, but why not for the people who we need to make it reflect what it is. So if somebody does want to eat that crap food respectfully, they don't got to pay an arm and a leg. A McDonald's burger should not be half the price of a Shake Shack burger or a Five Guy burger, or it shouldn't be. I don't care. And I think mostly people buy it because it's convenience. But let's get on it. Let's start boycotting a little something. Maybe. I don't know. Allegedly. In GTA 5, 6, 7. I don't know. Possibly.
Those are the two things that you have to do. But I also want to take this time to be able to just kind of discuss other local companies that, or local institutions that have really been able to kind of help support me and that I feel like I always want to be able to contribute. Because again, I think that we need to stop
Shake Shack straight. I just like their veggie burger.
All of the companies that are doing bad and begin promoting the ones that are doing good.
I'm not in love with them.
Obviously, P. Terry's, after every one of my videos, I like to go there and I celebrate as soon as I publish it. When I hit 1,000 subscribers, when I hit 100,000 subscribers, 200,000, it would have been 300 if I was here in Austin, is I go to P. Terry's. Like a simple $15 meal, $10 meal. I eat quite a bit, but you know, to me, that is worth celebration. Another place for me personally is Monkey See, Monkey Do. Like if you're an action figure collector here on South Lamar, it is amazing. They have been unbelievably.
This man talk about locally in Texas. I thought he's about locally that got some places booming in different around the country.
So that kind of shows you, like, I guess what drives me here on the channel. But for every 10,000 subscribers I get, I go to Monkey See, Monkey Do, and I get an action figure. And so I have them all over my desk. I have them on the bookshelf. I have them in my apartment. That's a way.
I like that though. It's almost like a little tradition you created for yourself.
To make a difference. You know, he's able to do it. And you know, my childhood, through all of the different things that happened, there was never a time that an action figure wasn't in my hand. And so to me, it kind of is like, you know, while I'm getting hard on myself and stuff, I can still see like the protectors. So Monkey See, Monkey Do is an amazing place. I also want to show, like, I have a massive veteran community, and it was made very apparent from my last video, but I really want to talk about Major Talent. So Major Talent is a resource for veterans and military spouses that provides resume development.
Shout out to them. Some local places. Name some local spots from your city, your community that you would like to support or like to be supported when people come travel and visit your city, and let us know what it do. This is really what we need: communication, networking. We need to know when we go in places. You know, they say checking in, but you're really able to know where to go before you get there and how to support before you get there.
Understand what it is that you went through. So Major Talent is a fantastic resource for you to not only find employment that can actually give you a job that matches the values and the skills that you've developed, but it's also a way to develop a community. And you know, here on the channel, that's something that I consistently stress. So I really just kind of wanted to discuss those things. And you know, I think it's really important that in your own life, think about all of the companies that are doing good. You know, like another one here in Texas would be HEB, or you know, even Costco. Like I think Costco is a pretty great example. So let's find ways that we can highlight and support them.
I'm going to Costco today.
find ways that for the entrepreneur.
Final thoughts, I would say what is happening to fast food, the same thing that it's always been. It's just picking up pace. So in my personal opinion, I don't really mess with fast food like that unless I have to, like a fast food desert when I'm on the road with my guys or whatever. And I try to stop anywhere that's a grocery store. I ain't gonna hold you. If we get an Airbnb, I try to make it. I know Walmart ain't the best, but just somewhere where I could pick up some food and at least cook it myself versus paying these fast food restaurants. And I know Walmart ain't a good choice either. I do got a Costco membership. But when you're on the road and you're not in control of your driving and stuff, I just gotta do whatever I can do. You feel me? So that's when I will eat fast food the most. Or, you know what I'm saying? It's been another time where the last year or two was the most I eaten fast food, but that's because I was going through some circumstances that really didn't allow me to pick and choose like that. I still was eating a lot of not fast food, but I still was eating fast food way more than I've ever ate fast food before. But my choices were I was in Charlotte, I was eating velvet tacos. They was delicious. I don't really consider them fast food, salmon tacos, but those were delicious. I was on them heavy. And Shake Shack, I used to eat Shake Shack a couple times a week just because. But before then, I didn't eat any type of fast food for years. 99.9% of my foods was coming strictly from homemade, home cooked, every day cooking my own food. You know, I know it's time consuming, but am I not worth it? I think I am. Maybe not to you, but to me, I definitely am. Anywho, who are you giving your money to? Comment below. Comment below. I'm EYEZ. These are my thoughts. Just make it make sense. Before we say peace, let me know what is your weakness, fast food weakness. Who got you in a chokehold right now? Knowing they not no good for you. Comment below. Peace.